Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Laura Crapo, and I got a viewer request to do a reading on. I'm not sure exactly how to say her name. If it's Zendaya, anyway, I'll stick with that. And Tom Holland. What are you barking at? Anyway, my dog is in the same room as me, and whenever I start talking, he starts talking. So I'm going to try to distract him. So I wasn't really doing a lot of videos recently. If you're a subscriber, you know that already. And but then when I read the comment, like to do this reading, I was getting like a bunch of mixed signals, which I found kind of like interesting, whatever, little challenge, or it made me curious, like what's going on there, and if it's a mix of different stuff. Okay. I really hope he's quiet. Okay. So I'll just try to relax into it and see what comes up. Okay, so Zendaya and Tom Holland. Yeah, initially when I read the request, I was getting that Tom Holland is like he knows the drill, like like you know, women can be complex, and it's like part of the whole deal there. And so he's not like demanding someone to fit into his life perfectly, I feel, and like they can have their own character, which can be really like drawing out of the lines sometimes, and he doesn't take it personally. He like his sense of self is not going to be like impeded upon by someone else's character that he's spending a lot of time with. So is he British? Well, anyway, like let's say I think he is. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. I'm gonna look it up, but let's say he's British. Like there's that whole. I feel like British humor is kind of like having an eagle eye, like seeing like you're in the situation, but you're seeing the situation from above, like, and then you make like a clever, insightful joke about it or whatever. Okay, wait, Tom Holland. Tom Holland. British. I'm really bad at like looking at stuff. Okay. He's an English actor. Okay. Yeah. So um so it's that kind of like, and I've been fortunate to meet a few people from England, and they have that like Yoda quality of like being able to see themselves from afar, like a critic, and also being like a hot mess or whatever. Okay, buddy, it's not time to. I'm doing the video, not you. Okay, and right. So that's a little sketch of Tom. Okay, right. And then I was picking up about Zendaya, that like child actress, right? Like really I feel like her kind of brain is a bit wired by like all the training she had and the environment she was in, and like the demands that were on her. And so it's sort of like the sensation I get is like going through like the red lasers across the room. Like there's some structure to her, and you kind of have to like get around that structure that's fairly fixed, and whether that's like a defense mechanism to survive the experience of being an actress since childhood, um, it's not like mask wearing. It's like she like maybe she doesn't question it, like, but that like she has very much like boundaries in place. And if you like hit up against one of those lasers, it's like like you've now crossed, it's like you've now crossed the boundary, it's obvious. Which, not everybody has. Like, not every woman that you would have dated would have had these very clear boundaries. But because he has a sense of humor and like this eagle eye point of view of like his situation, like he can see her good qualities and like their interaction that he likes, but he's not so fragile in that situation that like it's okay if it's a bit chaotic or like not even perfect or maybe like a bad fit in some ways. Like it doesn't bother him because he's like he's doing the math and it's like I like it, kind of thing. It's the vibe I get. I hope that like the audio is working because I've done videos, well, at least one where the audio wasn't working. So I'm just gonna keep going with this and then I'll find out at the end. All right. I'm better at using Logic than YouTube. It's like easier. So, okay, Zendaya and Tom Holland, sort of looked at them a bit apart, and now like, what is it like with them together? I feel like hanky panky wise, like Tom Holland's more like the passionate kind of instigator, and maybe Zendaya's like enjoys like being close, but like I just want to say this correctly. Again, it's just like that feeling of boundaries. It's like I'm gonna enjoy myself, but like, there's a certain amount of self-protection that can be seen as a lack of participation in some way, like of not being like 100% all in or whatever. So it creates this kind of like question mark, like, do I want that? Like, is that okay, with me that she's not 100% all in? It's pot. Okay, I don't want to just like, I want to like look at the energy before I talk. I feel like Tom Holland has had like some exes who are less evolved than Zendaya, so it's like this is even though there's not 100% participation from her, it's an upgrade in terms of like maturity and the sort of truth that she's bringing to the situation, which is like feeling like a feeling of like coming home. So it's like more like kind of wife vibes than like fling vibes, I guess. Like it's less fiery and more like a friendship based romance. And I'm gonna say romance in italics because like okay, this is where I'm like what I was picking up first, where there's like mixed energies there. Okay, so I'm just gonna look at their relationship. I feel like Tom Holland is very social, and he likes to communicate a lot with various people in a way that like if you were an angel looking down, like it's not problematic, but like if someone had jealousy issues about him talking to someone who's attractive or funny or he gets along with or is talented or like is helping his career or whatever, there could be triggers there about like if someone were observing that, like if they were not staying in their lane, as it were. But I don't feel like he's doing anything like wrong, you know? It's just like part of it's like his job, like to like he acting is communicating and like you have to act with other people and plan stuff and like if it would be weird if he didn't. I mean, I think there are probably actors who don't partake in the kind of chummy professional acting world. Um, but you know, he likes that part. Okay, and then Zendaya has a vibe more of like a beautiful object on a shelf that people aspire to like have in their project, and like they have to approach this sculpture with caution. Um, so it's like they have a different vibe, like socially, I feel like. And there might be times, like 20% of the time, like she declines an invitation that he might be extending, like that is a social one. And in that case, like he'd go with like, maybe he has like 5 really close friends and rotates between them, or like, you know, maybe 3 of them come out or 2, you know, and then he can like go alone to something and like meet someone new who's like, you know, he's just chatting with and stuff, and then that can like turn into an evening of just hanging out and, you know, just going with the flow, vision quest kind of like evening, whatever. But then he's not like splitting hairs over like, oh my god, we're so different. Like I think he's aware that everyone is different than him, like everyone's an individual. And there's some people like he's maybe less willing to tolerate now. Uh, but that because Cindy is able to kind of like control herself, you know, and not be really random, like I think he's enjoying that piece, you know. So that's kind of nice. But it still has like, I'm gonna say like if there were like you know those circles that cross over and like there's a section that's like a union and then I feel like they're in a friendship circle that slightly overlaps passion. So, you know, but it's not just like a relationship of just burning flames, like of confusing inspired passion or whatever. Like it's not like that. Like I don't know if he's I'm really bad at guessing people's astrological signs, but like let's say she's like a earth kind of or air kind of vibe, and then he would be more like a Cancer or something, like a water sign or like that with I don't know. Anyway, I haven't really like I saw Dune, and I don't know if I've seen Tom Holland's work. I may have, but not enough for me to go like for sure I've seen something. But I might have seen him like interviewed on a talk show or something. I'm not sure, but so I can't get like I'm only just telling you intuitively what I feel their nature is like. I don't know what's going on with my mouth. Okay. I felt like there was something there, like a piece of dust or something. Anyway, so here we go. Tom Holland. Okay, now let's look at like what it feels like to be on a date or like a night out with them. I mostly feel like Zendaya's like energy just like scanning the room, and like it might be again that sort of childhood, I don't know if you want to call it a trauma of like being a child actor in the industry, but let's say like, you know, small t trauma, that can make someone vigilant, you know. And so like I feel like when she goes into her room, it's like you know, and like sizing it up. And whereas Tom's more just like, not like pan, but like that kind of more free and like you know, that kind of British fairy like forest, like, oh, you know, what's this, you know, kind of more light, less critical vibe. And maybe like, you know, good cop, bad cop, like they're good working the room together with their different traits and stuff. So it could be kind of fun, like how different they are in a social situation. But like, again, it's not like they can't keep their hands off each other. It's like, it's more, again, like this kind of great team kind of vibe, more than like trying to grab them around a hidden corner, making out or something, you know. Okay, and then let's look at the next couple of years of what's going on. Okay. I'm not gonna pause the video, but there's definitely something, little like piece of fluff or something there. Okay, so okay, 2 years dating. Can we get to 2 years? I'm gonna say like 18 months. There's gonna be like a pause, but it feels an amicable kind of pause. And, you know, like they both work hard and they probably are not always in the same project. So, but it feels more like a deliberate pause between them. And it feels like Zendaya has like a hot co-star that she finds irresistible, you know. And then that guy, or like the person, has a partner, either they're already dating or just some connection there that's really strong, and they're super pissed that happened, like, and it was like beyond their control because they're like on set somewhere far away, and it's like annoying to that person to have this life lesson handed to them, right, due to this film. And then it feels just like Tom's like, maybe, does he also do some production or directing? It feels a little more like producing, like, hey, I want this film made, maybe I'm in it, you know, let's make it happen, kind of thing. And he may have like a say in how he might, obviously if he's producing it, he can probably choose a director, so you can go like, hey, like, you know, I want to do it this way, in your way, of course. But like, my dog's being so quiet. It's like he's growing up. All right, and then kind of like life goes on. I feel like it's not going to be like Miley Cyrus going like, oh my God, you broke up. Like everyone's going to know about it. Like it would be more a quiet storm. That isn't much of a storm because like they're friends, and neither of them is like extreme drama queen. Neither of them feels like there's any advantage in airing their grievances to the public. Like, because like, is it narcissistic to want everyone to get on board with your issues and stuff. I don't know. But like neither of them is like narcissistic. It's kind of like I feel like Tom Holland like enjoys like learning the game of like this business and being an actor and like going with the flow and like just the adventure of it and surprising himself with like his ability to do well and stuff like that. And then Zendaya's like, okay, well, I just want to look at it so I say it right. It's weird. It's weird to say this, but it's what I pick up, and I don't like altering what I pick up. So it feels like a bruise. Like her career feels. It's kind of sad actually. It feels like living within this like a wound lightly, but like a bruise that was sort of placed upon her. Like it wasn't her choice, maybe initially to become an actress that young, like in that way. Like like all kids love to like perform and stuff, like but like to what degree. So it was like for more than was fun, and so it created this kind of like so let's say for instance she had a different interest, like she wanted to become a nurse or something. Like at this point it's like she couldn't really do that because like she's an actress and like she'd get a lot of flack like eyebrows raised if she changed careers in that way. um that's intense. I feel like the person who'd be like her long-term partner would be super stable. Like it feels like a wealthy guy who like owns a really beautiful, largish house. Like for argument's sake, I'm gonna say it like it feels more like either the interior of California, like wine territory, or like Italy. You know how they're kind of similar. I think it makes sense because like both places grow wine or whatever, grapes, grow wine, and that kind of vibe of like grassy hills and a chateau kind of thing, where they're just like holding the fort, and they again, like Tom Holland is doing, like not being hypercritical of how she is and what she needs and stuff, and someone who's comfortable with being independent, letting her have her independence, like independence of her thoughts, and like not being a weird spy, like why are you doing this, why are you talking to them, like letting her, like trusting her, but it would be like a even if it was like a young guy, he would have to have that kind of like retired guy kind of vibe of like very calm, like very stable, very calm, no table flipping, like. So it's like if, let's say, she had some criteria that she was like checking off, like they do on that one dating site, like that is like an insane questionnaire that's too long. Um, her her specifications are so like accurate that it's like good luck finding that guy kind of thing. Um, and it also gives this vibe of like Citizen Kane, like like Hearst Castle, kind of like you have everything, but it's like there's it's kind of cavernous and like kind of can be a bit. Some people might see it as lonely, but I think she loves feeling safe, in a nice, like strong home that's like, you know what I mean? You know how like people, Why are you groaning? Okay, shush. You know how, like, in the olden days, like, maybe now, maybe that's what gated communities are now. Like, how in the olden days, like, people would build castles with walls and, like, fortified cities and, like, stuff like that. Like, Paris used to be fortified, but they kept, like, moving the boundaries and stuff. But there's still remnants of the fortification, the walls, the gates, or whatever. Okay. Sorry, my neck hurts. All right. So 18 months from now, May 6th or whatever, I kind of see them having like a pause forever. And Dr. Disco, hey, no, it's because he hears the neighbors coming and going. Okay. All right. And then, but I feel like Tom's like sad, like he's fine, but there's this like feeling of like, dang, you know, like, because like he's not sure he can do better than her, like when they break up, but at the same time he needs to be open to the magic of what comes next that might be a better fit for both of them. Okay, let me see like what is on tap for him in terms of romance after that. It feels like a lot of people, like once he's single again, it's just like, you know, it's like producers and like every woman he's ever talked to that has his email is gonna contact him, and it's a bit like annoying for him. But like, who emerges the victor? I don't know. I kind of feel like he could almost meet a girl at Disneyland, like when he's just like having fun with his friends, and just some random, nice, beautiful woman like he meets in Disneyland. So if you're crazy about him in 20 months, like go to Disneyland. Maybe he'll be there. Disneyland's fun. I remember going in the, I'm gonna say the 90s. Was it in the 90s? In the 80s? It was either the 80s or the 90s. I went to Disneyland, and the Pirates of the Caribbean guy, I don't know if that guy ended up having a career or anything. It was so hilarious. So it's like I get why people go there, just like have fun and stuff. I guess it's kind of fun. But like when I went back the last time, that whole parking lot in front of Disneyland was gone, and it like they put like Universal, they put some like other thing like right next to it, and like there was like a scary van ride or train ride or something from your car to like the entrance to Disneyland where you really had to like hold on to your seat. I think the driver of that shuttle's like over it. Yeah, anyway, but it's fun. Okay, so you know, grab a hanky. I don't really see it lasting forever, but like I do think they're great friends, and it's probably like great for them to be together. And sometimes we're not meant to stay with the same person forever, and it's just like we help each other achieve things we wouldn't have separately, and like all that jazz, and like, you know. So it's still beautiful, and maybe it's not as long lasting as like Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward, but like who knows if Paul was like faithful and stuff. I've never looked into that, but you never know. So it's better to have like an honest relationship. I think I'm not saying his relationship wasn't honest. I'm giving you an example of someone who like stayed with his wife. But the very fact that I'm giving quotes makes me think like there's some funny business there. But that's for another reading. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and thank you to the person who suggested. Normally I like don't allow comments, but then I saw this setting where it's like review all comments, which is like one less strict than no comments. So I'll just try that out, and then if I find that it's like mean or like if people are mean, I'll go back to like no comments again. But anyway, for my crew, the people who watch my videos, like hi and thank you for supporting my channel. If you like, I guess share if you really want. If you know people that have like a lot of free time, or subscribe. Subscribing really helps me because I think I'm still below 1,000, and it would be great to like smash through 1,000 to like 1,002. With your help. All right, thank you. Have a good whatever o'clock it is.